Welcome to the first of a series of examples of real-world examples using AI tools that I use regularly at my own radio station to either write scripts or help with production. So one that everybody's been talking about, ChatGPT, has been in the news, and you know what? If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. Set up your free account and go ahead and kick the tires. You can pretty much say anything to it, and it will respond with some sort of humanized response. So we can just simply say hello, and boom, we're waiting for our response. Hello, how can I assist you today? So this is really simple, but how do we practically use this? Use it in a practical way for radio stations. So we have a program on the radio station called the School of Swing, and it plays jazz and big band music from the 40s and early 30s. So I have used ChatGPT to help me come up with playlist ideas. So I can say something as simple as, make me a 15-song playlist of big band songs from the 1940s. Okay, and as you can see, ChatGPT is filling in that 15-song playlist automatically for us. Now, once you have the playlist on the screen, what you do with it, that's your call. There's a lot of different softwares you can get for importing that into a playlist, or if you just want to use that as a starting point for building a program. But let's just take this one step further. Let's say, make me a playlist of 15 songs that were B-sides in 1941. So as you can see, it's spitting out our playlist. And the other thing that I find fascinating with this is, even though I did not ask for both the A and the B side, it provided that information to me. So as you see here on our list, I'm Getting Sentimental Over You by Tommy Dorsey is the B-side of Marie. So we now, not only, without me even asking for it, ChatGPT gave me the songs I was asking for, plus additional information that I wasn't even asking for. And if I had to sit and research this, this is like this right here in a matter of seconds in real time. I did not speed anything up. This is real time. In a matter of seconds, we just saved an hour's worth of research putting this playlist together. Now, we can take this one step further. Again, there's always and now. And we can do that because we can say, make me a playlist of B-sides. We'll say 15 B-sides of songs from the we'll say 1941, like we did in the previous one. But let's add another prompt that says, insert commentary after every third song with information about the songs or artist. And ChatGPT starts running with that. And then we have, look, after the third song, Tommy Dorsey's I'm Getting Sentimental for You, a classic tune that was actually composed by George Bassman. And so you see all this information here, Jimmy Lunchford's Blues in the Night. This is all the research that I would normally do by hand, either through books or Google searches or Wikipedia and all these different sources. And it is now being done for me automatically. So that's one really awesome way that you can use ChatGPT in a radio setting, or if you're just a producer of a show. That's just one really basic example of how you can quickly, it's still, compiling the rest of our playlist with all of our commentary that we have here. And then you can also copy and paste this right out of ChatGPT into a Word document, into whatever document. You can print this, and then the options are limitless moving forward. So I'm going to stop this where it is right now, and we're not going to generate that. Let's make a shiny new conversation here with ChatGPT. And let's say I'm a copywriter and I need to write some vignettes for a client. Maybe the radio station just signed a contract with a veterinarian or a pet food company. And I, as the copywriter, have been asked to compile some vignettes to produce for some infotizing for this customer that has to do with pets. So we can say, write me 10 short vignettes for radio that focus on pet care. And that's really all we need to add. We can just leave it at that and hit enter. And now ChatGPT starts to write out our vignettes for us. And for those in the radio industry or podcasting, you know that you can pretty much see right here where this is going, because you can easily take that short script that was written and then tack your sponsor information on there. Or you can actually take each of these. Let's just say this isn't enough for what you need. You need something a little more long form. Well, you can take one of these comments, one of these vignettes that it already wrote, and say, please expand on this topic. And then paste that vignette right in. And now we will see here in a moment that ChatGPT is now thinking about it. And there it is, certainly. And we will start to see a much more detailed script for our vignette. Maybe we needed something more than just something that's going to fit into a 30-second or a 60-second break. Maybe we need something a little more lengthy. You can see that it is filling in the script for what we need. So as you can see, it's continuing to fill in our vignette. And literally, in most cases, there are some times when there is some congestion in the ChatGPT world. But for the most part, we're still going to be taking less time than it would take for us to research it and type all this out ourselves. Having worked in the radio industry for 30 years and as a copywriter myself, I remember those times when a sales rep would come to me and say, hey, I need to pitch this spot to a potential client. Can you write me up something? Just whip something up. Yeah, like I can just type it up like there's no tomorrow. And yes, I can type quickly. But you know what? ChatGPT is not only typing it, but also doing the research and elaborating on it exactly as we need it. So now let's stop this And we can get another shiny new conversation here. Give our ChatGPT a refresh. And let's say that we want to put together an outline for a podcast, an outline for a program. So we can say, create a 4-part outline for a podcast about Earth Day. So now ChatGPT's doing its thinking, and there it is, spitting out our results. Introduction. So you see it's giving us our bullet points. 1, 2. Then the next step that we can do from this is where it's kind of a no-brainer why someone would not want to, why wouldn't you want to use ChatGPT to make your life easier? You know what, as we're waiting here for this to come out, I look at it from the perspective of the AI is not going to replace my job, but you know what, someone else using AI possibly could replace my job. So as you see here, we have our 4-part outline, exactly as we requested for our podcast about Earth Day. Once it finishes here, we can then take some of this information and then we will use, there we go. Okay, so it has finished. Now, mind you, that's still under a minute and all that information was done for us. So now we can take each of these bullet points and then say, write me a paragraph about, and then you just paste that in there, and there we go. Earth Day is an annual event celebrated on April 22nd to demonstrate support for environmental protection. The first Earth Day was held in 1970. So all this information that we would need to have on hand for our podcast, we can easily generate it all. Now we can grab our next bullet point. And in many cases, we don't even have to tell it what to do. We could just say paragraph. So as you can see, I didn't even have to give it that many prompts to get the right information that I needed for it to spit back at me. So that is just a few basic examples of how you can use it for your radio programming. You can also use it for writing additional content to put on your radio station website. We are always in need of content. It's still king, no matter whether you're in radio, television, YouTuber, podcaster, or radio. Whatever the case may be, if there's content to consume, content is still king. Whether we're even writing for newspaper, it's still important. So we can take, on this topic of Earth Day, we could say, write me a 100-word, let's live a little, 200-word article about Earth Day and include historical references. And this, where it may include some mentions of past Earth Day celebrations, things like that. It's always good to give it more in a prompt in many cases if you want it to be more unique, because with so many people using this, basic prompts could end up giving you the same results. But in this case, the more specific you can get, the better product you're going to have returned to you. So 200-word article about Earth Day. And here we go. Earth Day is an annual event celebrated, blah, blah, blah. A lot of this is very similar to what we had in our other descriptions, but now you can see it's writing multiple paragraphs. First Earth Day event sparked a global movement that eventually led to the creation of Environmental Protection Agency. And there you have it. This article was just written while we're sitting here in real time. And all you would have to do is take this and copy that text, throw that into your WordPress or whatever content management system you're using for your website, and find a nice picture of a tree or whatever you think represents Earth Day, and presto, you're in business. So there are just a few simple examples of how you can use ChatGPT in the radio and podcasting industry. I will be using it as much as I possibly can. And you know what? If you've been through my course already, you know about the ethical side of things. So obviously the ethics behind being transparent that you are using AI. Hope you enjoyed this. More tutorials to come.